And welcome back to Sports the NEMO Way, the Milwaukee Bucks episode. I about said the wrong team for a second. Yes, we're going to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks all-time starting five. And we are all here this week. I think this is the first time in a while that we've all made it. We have no guests this week, so I don't think I have anything to go over. So let's get us kicked off here. Drew, who is your Bucks all-time starting point guard?
Sidney Moncrief.
Oh, okay.
He's also my point guard.
He's also my point guard.
He's my shooting guard.
Okay.
Ray?
Ray, you got Moncrief on the team at all?
He was at the beginning of the day, but he's not now.
Been removed.
All right. So Moncrief is 4 out of 5, huh? So what do y'all got? Drew, you can tell us a little bit about?
Well, Milwaukee, he averaged 16 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, and about almost half a block. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's 5-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, 5-time All-Defense, 2-time Defense Player of the Year. I know his assist numbers aren't high for a point guard, but my team, I guess, some of the other guys, when they were with Milwaukee or now with Milwaukee, they're also ball handlers too. So I mean, I don't probably need like a generic point guard, I guess, to all the guys. So I feel like you'll see later, like on my team, why I think it's okay for Sidney Moncrief to be my point guard. I mean, he can still dish the ball, but I don't need a 10 assist guy at night. I got other guys on my team that bring the ball up, and you'll see later, I think.
I mean, he's listed as a point guard on reference. He's a shooting guard and point guard. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's 6'3" or 4" or whatever it is.
Yeah, he's listed at 6'4" on here.
Yeah.
I think the thing to remember with Moncrief, is there's the last 3 years of Milwaukee there. That's post-injury, and it drags his numbers down a little bit.
Yeah.
If you look at his numbers before that, he blew out his knee, and that's before they could actually go in and fix that stuff.
Yeah.
If you look at his numbers then, he's almost at 20 points a game.
Yeah.
So,
Moncrief is a good player.
And he was a great defender.
He earned
Yeah.
those all defensive
Yeah.
selections too. He could play some D.
there's a lot. I've heard multiple people say that they think he's the greatest perimeter defender of all time. I mean, he's
Well, he won the first 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards in NBA history.
yeah.
And, I mean, he was the best perimeter defender in the NBA while averaging 20 points.
Yeah.
I mean, he was pretty amazing,
You'll take that if your best defender can score 20. Most time, your best defender is not scoring that much.
And he was solid at everything else, too. He rebounded and passed a little. He wasn't like a complete nothing like some other players we
He
see.
wasn't just a nothing defensive guy.
Yeah.
Right, and he was scoring 20 points a game efficiently. He's a career 50% shooter from the field, 83 from the free throw line. Not a great outside shooter at 28% from 3, but not a lot of guys shot great percentages
So
out
honestly,
there.
for the 80s, I was honestly probably respectable.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of great shooting,
I mean, he shoots a half a 3 a game for his career. It's not like he's out there chucking threes.
Yeah, he's not.
And most of that came after injury. Before his injury, he pretty much didn't even shoot threes. He was athletic and getting to the bucket, and he was a monster. He's just very underrated because Milwaukee had never done anything back, and had never won a championship until here recently. And they're just not like a hugely relevant team, and his career was cut short because of injury. So he's just really overlooked and kind of forgotten, I think.
And didn't he come out with Magic Johnson? Wasn't that the same time?
He got drafted in 79 and 80 season.
I think that's when Magic came out because I think there was some discussion. I mean, obviously everybody wanted Magic, but there were people out there that thought Moncrief might be a more solid pick. Less drama.
Magic went 1. Dave Greenwood went 2.
Yeah, I remember him.
Bill Cartwright, Greg Kessler, and then Sidney Moncrief, James Bailey, Vinnie Johnson went there, Calvin Natt. Larry.
Was it that Greg? Was that Greg Kelso?
Kelser is what it says. This is from Michigan State.
Michigan State. Okay, I thought that he's that forward that played with Magic at Michigan State. I thought his name was Kelso, but it's been a while since I looked him up. So
Cliff Robinson went in that draft. Jim Paxton. Not recognizing any other names, but yeah, There were some decent names in that draft. I would say Moncrief and the guys we named probably had the second best career.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah. All right, anybody else have anything to add on Moncrief before we move on?
No, I'm good.
No.
All right, well, I guess that's around to Ray. Ray, who's your point guard?
Sam Cassell.
Oh,
All right. I like Sam Cassell.
I do too.
I was gonna go with Moncrief, and I'm like, let me go back and look at these point guards because I was thinking about Oscar, but he wasn't there long enough. Then I went back and I took Sam Cassell compared to Sidney Moncrief. Stats are pretty similar, and there's a couple spots where Cassell overtakes him, and this is probably Sam Cassell's best landing spot that he had stat wise. So I just went ahead and went with Sam Cassell.
Yeah, I mean, Cassell has 5 years in Milwaukee and they're pretty solid numbers at 19 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal, 46% from the field, 33 from 3, 86 from the line.
that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it is.
He had put up some pretty nice numbers.
I didn't really think of Sam Cassell, to be honest. When I was thinking about my team, I didn't really think about him.
I did. I looked at Cassell. I considered him pretty heavily. I decided to go a different direction.
I see that. Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about your selection?
Does anybody else have anything to add on Cassell before I do that?
Yeah.
By the way, it says Sam Cassell's a 3-time NBA champ. Where did he win 3 championships at?
One-
He won one with the Celtics.
Rockets, the very beginning of his
You're
career.
right. Yeah, he won the first 2 with the Rockets.
He's
Yeah.
like a rookie in their first championship year with Elijah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. So he won 2 with the Rockets and then 1 with the Celtics at the end of his career.
Yeah.
So he, like, his first year and his last year.
Yeah, like bracket the career. Way to come in and go out.
Yeah, no kidding. All right. Well, my point guard is Ray Allen.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's my shooting guard.
that's my shooting guard.
Ray Allen is also my shooting guard.
Okay. So Ray Allen's on the team.
Yeah, Ray's in.
Sweet.
So 1 point guard and 4 shooting.
I believe that's correct.
Okay.
Ray Allen was drafted as a point guard by this, by this team, essentially. His numbers in Milwaukee are 19 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, 45 from the field, 40 from 3, and 88% from the free throw line. Ray Allen and Sam Cassell, and then with Big Dog, had some nice runs there, and for Milwaukee there in the early 2000s.
So I was talking with Dad that one year they probably should have remember the whole free throw thing with the 76ers.
Yeah. That was in the Eastern Conference Finals, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think Milwaukee beat Orlando in the first or second. I think the first round that year. Yeah, I knew Ray Allen was going to make my team here, but I was trying to figure out what to do with him and Moncrief, and apparently I just decided to do the opposite of what most of you guys did. So
He's on there. That's the
I
important
say he's
thing.
on. Yeah, we all had it.
We can sort out where to put him.
yeah,
Get the right guys on there.
yeah. So Ray Allen is on the team.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, I think he about has to be. I mean,
yeah.
he was just amazing.
He also made 3 All-Star games in Milwaukee.
That people probably forget, but this was athletic Ray Allen. This was
Yeah.
him getting up and down, dunking on people,
Yeah.
not just standing in the corner.
Right, it's the guy that shot 40% from 3, but he also put the ball on the floor and attacked the basket.
Yeah.
So
So, yeah. Anybody else have anything to add on Jesus Shuttlesworth before we move on?
I did watch that movie not that long ago.
Yeah.
I did. It's a good movie.
yeah.
All right, well, so we have everybody's point guard and everybody's shooting guard now?
Yep.
So,
All right, so I guess we can go back to Drew. Drew, who's your small forward?
Marquise Johnson.
He's also my small forward.
Not on my list.
Not mine either.
yeah, I don't have him. I did think about him though, between him and one other guy.
Yeah.
In Milwaukee, he averaged 21.7.5 rebounds, almost 4 assists, 1 steal, and almost 1 block. He's 5-time All-Star. 4 of them came in Milwaukee, and then he was 3-time All-NBA, and he made the All-Rookie team.
Yeah. He was just, I think Marcus was probably 6'9", maybe 6'10".
He was actually 6'7".
Well, back in the day, they called him 6'10". Because when I watched him play at UCLA, a lot of times UCLA used him at power forward, but he transitioned to more small forward in the NBA. But
I would say he played with
very athletic.
Cindy Moncrief for a couple of years, so he was there with him. So.
Yeah. So a little UCLA bias there. I really liked Marcus. I watched him play a lot in college.
And he did not shoot any. Oh, he did not make a single three in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, two of you had Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I couldn't. I didn't get him pulled up very quickly, so I was trying to do that while you guys were talking, so I wasn't paying as much attention. All right, anybody else have anything to add on Johnson before we move on?
No.
All right, Wade, who's your small forward?
I went with Big Dog.
Oh, yes.
Good old Glenn Robinson.
I did as well.
I didn't do that either.
Him and sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Him and Johnson's production levels are extremely similar. Big Dog is 21 points in Milwaukee, 6 boards, just about 3 assists, 1 steal, 81% from the line, shot 46%, 34% from 3. So their production is extremely similar. Big Dog was, he was a pretty, I wouldn't say like superstar or all-star. Well, like a borderline all-star, like really good NBA player, like when I was growing up. And he was just, what I remember, known just for being a constant 20-point per game scorer and just getting buckets. And I went with him over Johnson just because of the style of play. I thought you have Ray Allen stretching the floor, shooting a lot, and then, can put it on the floor when he has to. You have a Moncrief kind of attacking the basket and stuff, and then Big Dog can kind of play off of all that because he was kind of a 3-level scorer. He could body you up and push you around in the paint. He could operate in the mid-range, and he could hit open threes. And I thought it was just a perfect complement for those three in the backcourt together. And that was my thought process of why I went with him over Johnson.
I gave him very serious consideration to putting Big Dog on my team. And you're all right. He is a 3-level scorer. He's not a great 3-point shooter, but he's a decent 3-point shooter.
He's respectable.
Yeah. His mid-range game was ridiculous. And like you said, especially if you put a smaller guy on him, he would just punish them physically.
He could bully you and had a nice mid-range game. He could kind of pick his battle there.
He kind of had an old man game.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to blow by you or shake and bake or anything, but he got to his spots and knocked his stuff down.
Yeah. For pretty much a decade straight, he averaged between 18 and 23 points per game.
Well, we're also talking about another guy that hurt his knee and then his career was just over again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Ray, do you have anything to add on
He-
Big Dog?
I just remember him as a really good mid-range shooter, real reliable. Like, I don't remember him really missing a whole lot, but and then he was really kind of the one I really remember in Milwaukee in the 90s besides Ray Allen. So those two are kind of like recency bias besides like the newer guys that we're watching today, but those are the two guys I remember watching, so I'm just kind of fans of those two, I guess.
Yeah. No, he was he was a number 1 overall pick, wasn't he? Yeah, I think
I left his page, but that sounds right.
He's the number 1 overall pick. He was their star for a few years there. You know, he ended up winning a championship in San Antonio, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, the very end of his career, I believe. Was it like 04, 05?
Yeah.
Like that. One of those championships they snuck in there. That would have been against the one they won against Detroit, I think. Would have been the one he was on, I believe.
I didn't know that.
Yep. And he made a couple All-Star games in Milwaukee. All right. Is that all we got on old Big Dog Robinson?
So,
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess we're back to me and my lone small forward, which would be Michael Redd.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right.
I wanted to add, I thought it would be nice to add another shooter, another 20-point per game scorer. So I went with Michael Redd, who averaged 20 points and 4 rebounds, a couple assists, and a steal. He was also a very good defender. 45% from the field, 38 from 3, 84 from the line. Another guy that tore up his knee and his career fizzled out.
There's so many of those
A
guys.
comedy, not a comedy, a collection of tearing up knee guys here in Milwaukee, apparently. But and I always kind of liked Michael Redd. Crazy thing is like I said, he averages 20 a game in Milwaukee. In his first season in Milwaukee, he averaged 2 points a game.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when did Michael Redd was kind of in between the 90s crew and the current guys, right?
Yeah, he played in Milwaukee from 2000 to 2010.
Okay, yeah.
He's got 11 seasons in Milwaukee.
Yep, I remember watching Michael Redd.
A little lefty with a knockdown J.
Yeah.
And there was somebody there with him that could score a little bit. On there? Was it? I can't remember.
I can't either.
I zoned out. Who are we talking about?
Michael Redd.
Who played with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had Brandon Jennings back then.
Oh, yeah, Jennings.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. I forgot about
They had
that.
Andrew Bogut back then.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
there we go. That's the team. Yep.
Yeah, you're right. I picked his biggest scoring year and just clicked on it. Andrew Bogut, Earl Boykins, a little 5'5" guy.
It wasn't bad.
Ersan Ilyasova, Ruben Patterson,
Kobe stopper.
yeah, Charlie Villanueva, and Mo Williams is on that team.
Okay.
He was solid.
Yeah, Mo Williams had a couple nice years.
Villanueva. Dirty.
All right, well, anyway, that's my Michael Redd pick. And I feel like we're going to bunch up here on the next couple picks, but hey, I could be wrong.
I mean, I would think so.
We fuck up these two. We're idiots.
Yeah, I was going to say, these two are pretty locked in, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't think we've actually gone to you first on anything yet. So Uncle Doug, who's your power forward?
Giannis.
Yes, he's mine as well.
He's mine.
As mine as well.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
Good job, guys.
A unanimous power forward.
Wade. We're rallying at the end.
That's right.
It's like in football. We used to always rally.
I have been listening to some of our football episodes while I work out recently. I've been going back and listening to some. It's pretty interesting.
I was like, we go around the whole room. All 6 of us have a different first guy, and then number 2, yep. Number 1, yep. We just rally.
Yeah. Well, Giannis is a little over 22 points a game, almost 10 boards, 4.6 assists, a little over a steal, 1.3 blocks. Of course, MVP. Got a title.
Got 2 MVPs.
2 MVPs.
Title, Finals MVP.
Defense player of the year.
Yeah, he's a 7-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, 5-time All-Defense, Most Improved Player. Yeah, he's got a lot of accolades.
He does.
And he can still add to it.
Yeah. And I think he probably will.
Yeah.
He's only, 20... What is he, 28? So, yeah. He's probably just now in his... This probably should be his prime.
Yeah.
Still super athletic, and now he's been in the league long enough. He mentally has everything down. So.
totals are starting to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the Bucks can keep some good players around him going into the future, he should
Stay relevant.
Yeah.
contend for titles, I'd imagine.
Who'd they hire as their coach?
They get Nick. No, he went to
Oh, it's
Philadelphia.
Adrian Griffin.
Okay.
He was Nick Nurse's assistant in
Ah,
Toronto.
Yeah.
Nick Nurse went
yeah.
to Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
Frank
Yeah.
Vogel
Okay.
went to the Suns.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's his name? The one the Celtics fired. Ime Udoka went to the Rockets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Budenholzer hasn't been hired anywhere.
Doc Rivers is still out there.
Doc
too.
Rivers is
Monty
still out there.
Williams.
Yeah, Monty
No,
Williams.
Detroit hired.
Yeah.
him.
No,
did?
you're right.
It's
Detroit
his
gave
name.
him
yeah,
the
yeah.
biggest contract in coaching history.
They did give him a big one. Yeah.
$100 million.
Hey, did anybody else besides me think it was funny that the doc got replaced by a nurse?
Yes.
I like it.
I had not heard that. That's crafty.
I didn't even think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nurses everywhere are smiling.
Yes.
Mhm.
None of them probably listen to this podcast. It's all right. Oh goodness. Oh,
On the center.
are we done with Giannis?
I'll
Going
say.
to the next
I,
one.
I did want to mention somebody. I did take a look at Terry Cummings.
Oh, okay.
He averaged over 19 points a game, almost 8 rebounds, a few assists and steals. It was a really good player for a time, but he just can't match Giannis.
Oh no.
And this is what I was talking about earlier, listeners, about someone else being able to bring the ball up. I mean, a couple times during the game, he brings the ball up, and just,
Yeah.
and he does sometimes. So.
He initiates the offense.
Giannis handles the ball a lot, actually. I mean, in Milwaukee. I mean, and a few years ago when Kidd was their head coach, he made him play point guard quite often.
Yeah.
So
Well, I know at one point this season, due to injuries, he was having to handle the ball a lot, and he had a usage rate of like almost 40. Like it was, I don't know what it ended up at, because Drew Holiday and everybody and Milton and stuff came back, but so I mean, he had the ball in his hands a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ray, you want to tell us who your center is?
They used to call him Lou Alcindor.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't have Andrew Bogut?
No, not tonight.
Not tonight.
But the true scoring leader, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
yeah, there you go.
at 30.4, 3.4 blocks, 1.2 steals, 4.3 assists, and 15 goddamn rebounds a game.
30 and 15. That's a stat
Like, come
line.
on, put
With
this man on the fucking
Over 3 blocks.
It's as Mark would refer to it as back when Kareem rebounded.
yeah. When you wanted to.
But yeah, I can Kareem. The other team that he's famous for besides the Lakers.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume all 5 of us have Kareem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last 2 were pretty easy.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of our top 50, didn't we all move him to the number 1 center?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did we?
I did.
Well, I mean, us 3 had him to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Who's
thought
yours,
Alex
Ray?
switched him. Did you
I
keep
almost-
Olajuwon?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Did
I'd
you
to
have
go
Bill
back.
Russell up there?
He had Russell 1 originally, I
Oh,
think.
maybe that was it.
But I think he did drop Russell, but he did something else though. He
Did you
moved
put
somebody
Shaq
else.
up there.
Yeah, I
Did
can't
you
remember what he
reshuffle
did.
Shaq up?
Uh,
I feel like you did.
I was.
No, you were low on Shaq.
Yeah, because he said.
He shit on Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah, he said something
again.
about Shaq and Kobe both
I
not
think it
being.
was Olajuwon because I think we made jokes about how I dropped Olajuwon to 2 and he raised Olajuwon.
Yeah,
to
maybe
Oh,
that was
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Because I dropped LeBron out of the top 10.
You put Embiid on the list.
He did. He did.
Yeah,
Beat in
I
there.
shouldn't have did that. But
Jabbar does have, in his 6 seasons in Milwaukee, he made 6 All-Star teams. He won 2 scoring titles in those 6 seasons. He also played a bunch, majority of his games during that time and played over 40 minutes every year. 40 minutes a game, I mean.
I mean, he was the best player in the NBA at that time. I mean,
Yeah.
he was undoubtedly the best player in the NBA and of the 70s.
Yeah, he was Yeah, at that time, he kind of got the title of, but he doesn't get it done when it matters, and had to shed that later in his career.
Yeah.
He had some pretty big clunker losses in the playoffs in Milwaukee.
Jabbar did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who'd they beat the year he got it with Oscar? Who'd they beat again? Did they? Because the Bucks at that time, they were in the West. Were they in the West back then?
What year did they win it, Uncle Doug?
70.
Turn your mic on.
70?
Turn your mic on.
It's on. Sorry, I had it down. 70 maybe? 70, 71, something like that.
We'll try a couple years here. They lost the playoffs in that year.
I thought it was like 73 or 4.
It could have been that late. It could have been as late as 73.
They won in 71.
71, okay.
Yeah, because it was Kareem and Bobby Dandridge and Oscar.
They played the Bullets.
Oh, yeah, Wes Unseld, I think, was on that team.
I could not remember who they played in that. That's not a finals you like hear about a lot.
Right,
Obviously,
yeah.
you don't see a ton of footage.
Washington against Milwaukee.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah, they're not.
You're not raking in the big markets in that finals.
No, that's not really not up there.
So Kareem went for 27 and 18 in that series, and 2 assists. And Oscar went for 23, 5 and 9. And Bob Dandridge went for 20 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. So those three pretty much balled out. Although Kareem's scoring numbers were down from the regular season.
I think that had a lot to do with Wes Unseld just beating the crap out of him.
Wes Unseld averaged 15 points, 19 rebounds, and 6 assists in that series. He had himself a series.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a monster. He's in the Hall of Fame for a reason.
yeah.
He won a title with Washington, didn't he?
Yeah,
I believe he did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought he
he
did.
Earl the Pearl Monroe was on that team. He averaged 16, 4 and 4 in that. Their leading scorer for the series is Jack Marin at 18 points a game.
No idea.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I remember him.
Well, Wes Unseld wasn't. He got that Finals MVP over Elvin Hayes, isn't that one of the real big controversial ones?
Yeah.
Because
Well, I think they didn't. Elvin Hayes' numbers are better than Unseld's in the finals. But I think what we read during that episode was that the final 2 games of the series, Hayes disappeared, and
Unseld did a lot of off the box score stuff that helps your team win. He was.
Though here's the thing: is like Milwaukee had 3 20-point per game scores in the series, and Washington had 0.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, now we can return to our team here. We have 2 positions decided and a 3rd player decided. We just don't have which position he's at yet. So Kareem is our starting center. Giannis is our starting power forward. And now we need to decide the 2 wings and the point guard.
Well, Ray Allen's gonna go in one of those spots.
Yes. Well, I'm okay with switching taking my Ray Allen off point guard and moving it to Moncrief, and then taking my Moncrief off, or my Allen. How does that work?
You move your Ray Allen, the shooting guard, and you just move your Sidney Moncrief to point guard.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that'll make Ray Allen
The shooting guard.
Yeah, Ray Allen will be the shooting guard.
Yeah,
So then we just
yeah.
need
All
point guard
5
and small forward.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Moncrief and Cassell, and Johnson, Robinson, and Red for small forward. Which one do we want to tackle first here, boys?
Ray, will you come off Sam Cassell?
We might have to go to small forward first.
All right.
Let me marinate a little bit.
All right.
To be completely honest, all three small forwards have extremely similar production as far
Yeah.
as number wise.
They do.
I think they're all gonna have certain things above the other ones, and they're all gonna, you know,
They're all about 20 points a game.
yeah.
All probably what about?
I think Robinson and Johnson out rebound Red a little bit. Red's probably a little better defender, at least than Robinson. I didn't watch much of Johnson. I'm not sure about him. But you know, Johnson seems like more of a super kind of longer, tall, athletic slasher. Robinson's more of a three-way guy. Red was more of a three-point shooter. I mean,
Well, it sounds like from your description that Robinson is more all around.
that was my
Maybe
my
that's.
I'm okay with coming off Red for Big Dog.
thing.
I'd be fine with that. Yeah.
I can do that too.
Yeah. I mean, they're all pretty similar, so it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we're missing out on anything.
Right. I
really.
think
No.
all three of them deserve to be talked about.
Yeah.
And but I think your description's probably right. I think Robinson's probably the more all-around player.
So Robinson as a consensus.
Yeah.
I think so. I think we
I
all.
think so.
Big dog.
All right. So now we've decided everything but point guard.
Okay, Ray, you marinated.
Well, what? I'll give you my take real quick while you're thinking, right?
Okay.
Like on the offensive side, I think again Cassell. Their numbers in Milwaukee, technically Cassell's was better. But a lot of that was, like we said, Moncrief's injury. But Moncrief in his prime was like 25-5.
And a great defender.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say. Moncrief was like the best perimeter defender in the entire NBA for numerous years, probably like a half a decade. And Sam Cassell was a okay defender.
So
I think that's what separates them.
So are we just going based off the legacy of him being in Cincinnati, or are we just taking his years in Milwaukee? It sounds like we're kind of comparing.
What now?
You're,
What he
you're
was.
thinking of Oscar, not.
Thinking about
Oh.
Oscar.
You're thinking about the wrong guy. We're talking about Sidney
Which,
Moncrief.
what you're
Right.
saying is
Yeah.
why I didn't put Oscar on
Yes.
this
Yes.
team.
Right, yeah.
Same here.
Yeah.
Because I think Oscar belongs on
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
I
The Royals.
I
None of us put
agree,
him on there.
but this conversation would be
Right.
really crazy if we were talking about Oscar
Right.
and not like
Yeah.
Okay.
like Cincinnati Oscar would be like out of this like
Yeah.
duh he has to
Moncrief-
be
Yeah,
on
he
it.
would have been the point guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moncrief played longer in Milwaukee than I think, but probably like 2 or 3 times longer than
Okay,
Cassell
that's
did
my
in
bad.
Milwaukee.
So what do we want to do, or when we do this, put another defensive guy on the perimeter, or we just want to base it off, just stat wise, like the whole collective years they were there? Because Cassell was there 6 years, and he's similar stats and got a little bit better spots in the stat line. Moncrief was there, but the later part of his year, he blew his knee out.
Yeah.
So what do we want to? Because I'm down to put down another defender, but Cassell, was pretty solid in Milwaukee for them 6 years. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn because I had Moncrief at the beginning of the day. So
Well, before the knee injury, their scoring's about equal. Cassell is a better passer. Moncrief's a better rebounder, and then Moncrief's the better defender.
Yeah.
Well, I shortened Moncrief's career and cut off the scraps, and shortened it to the amount of time Cassell was in Milwaukee.
okay.
Okay.
And Sidney Moncrief averaged 21 points a game, almost 6 rebounds, of almost 5 assists, a steal and a half, on 50% shooting from the field.
And won 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards and made 5 All-Defensive Teams and 5 All-NBAs.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, I'll concede.
Thank you, Ray.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, it gets tricky when you look at total numbers,
Yeah.
and then when you look at, like, say, the end of his career when he was hurt, it drags everything down.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
to focus more on like people's prime value.
Because we're bringing out
instead of
prime
just-
players. We're not bringing out.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's not fair to people who go somewhere in their prime and then play like 5 years and leave than it is someone who gets like drafted there and develops. So those or people that stay there after their prime's over.
Mm-hmm.
We need to focus more on what they did in their prime instead of just going off. It's just not fair in some cases to some of those guys.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah, like I actually did it with Giannis on the computer, but I didn't say it out loud to you guys earlier. Like if you take out Giannis's first 2 years where he's like 18 and 19 and didn't play that much and his numbers are down, then like his Milwaukee career, he jumps up to like 26 points a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's like 26, 11, and 5 or something
Yeah,
stupid
so
like
once
that.
he got going. Because I remember playing like NBA 2K13 or 14 maybe, and he's in the game.
Yeah.
But he's this little scrawny bald guy running around.
Yeah.
He's not that good, but now obviously he's.
Actually, that's one of the most impressive things about Giannis is the amount of weight he has put on since he's come in the league. He was so
yeah.
skinny, and now he's just yoked.
Yeah, I'll say. Yeah, he just really came out of nowhere.
He did.
Yeah, he went from a hybrid electric to a fucking freight train.
Yeah.
yep.
Well, that being said, we now have our Milwaukee Bucks all-time starting five, which is as follows: Sidney Moncrief, Ray Allen, Big Dog Robinson, Giannis, and Kareem. Which I would say is a pretty nice five.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it at the very top, but I also wouldn't put it at the bottom. I think it's going to be I don't know what to put a number on it, but towards the top.
I think
Team.
they can compete for an Eastern Conference
Yeah.
championship.
I mean,
Yeah.
they can score inside, they can score outside, they can play defense.
Yeah.
Well,
There's good height.
Yeah.
This is going to be a tough out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play them.
no, I wouldn't either. It's I think it's one of the better teams we've had real recently, isn't it? I guess the Miami team was pretty good.
Yeah, Miami.
Better
The Lakers a couple weeks
yeah,
ago.
Lakers a few weeks before that. It's definitely better than Memphis.
It's gonna be better.
Everybody but Charlotte is better than them.
Yeah,
Sorry, buddy, but they're going to be better than the T-Wolves next week.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that one will be lacking.
yeah. I think they only have one Hall of Famer in their entire.
Well, yeah,
franchise,
They haven't
I
been
been-
around that long. And they
Some of their players are still active, like Kevin Love hasn't retired yet.
haven't had
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins,
Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns. These are all people who are probably gonna make the list. Maybe
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are in their prime.
Edwards has played what 2-3 years.
3, I think.
3, I think. Yeah.
Wouldn't Minnesota come in the league like late 80s?
No, it wasn't
90s?
that late.
It was the 90s, wasn't it?
Was it 90s?
Were they
Them in Memphis can't. Or no, not that.
Vancouver?
Was
Was it Vancouver?
Oh, Vancouver and
No,
Toronto
Vancouver
came
came
together.
in with Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
When did Minnesota come
Minnesota came in with.
And like before KG,
Did they come in with one of the New Orleans, Charlotte stuff?
in? Maybe
Charlotte in
That
the
could be.
90s. They come with
Was
them.
it?
Oh, Buddy's gonna be mad at us.
Yes, he is. Sorry.
I feel like it had
Sorry
to be in
about
the
it.
90s
It's
somewhere.
got to be the 90s somewhere.
Because they expanded a ton in the 90s.
Yeah, no, it was in the
They come in
90s.
with-
But I'm just trying to figure out who they came in with. 'Cause they have to
Right.
come in twos. They can't come
Yeah.
in with one team.
No, the Heat came in the 80s, didn't they? Or did they come in the 90s?
No, the Heat were.
I thought the Heat were earlier, but they came in.
He was late 80s. Yeah, he was 80s, I
I
think.
don't think the
Were
Heat came
they?
in before Orlando. We came in in '89.
So did the Heat come in with the Timberwolves?
Who came in with Orlando?
That's a good. I almost got killed by a cat.
No, he just wants to chill with you, Alex.
That's 2 weeks in a row. Last week he chilled up here with me, and then this week.
He's a basketball fan.
Yeah. Let's see.
Ooh.
Okay, so we're having
There you
a
go.
dead air while I'm trying to
Yeah.
do this.
So yeah. We really took a deep dive here just for mentioning we're doing Minnesota here.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah.
Well, I guess
1989.
89.
So they're with the Magic.
I guess so, yeah.
Hmm.
Ray, can you remove this cat?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, now Buddy's looking at me mad. Your teams came in together and you couldn't remember.
Yeah, that's true.
I actually saw Buddy last night while I was working. His son was playing baseball, and he said, "So how's it going?" He said, "We just got our butts kicked." He said they lost 18-0.
Ouch.
But he said it was only 1-0, and they had 2 outs in the inning. The kid swings, third strike. The catcher drops it, throws it over his head. He said, 12 runs later, I'm looking at the scoreboard in the same inning. It's like,
Wow.
oh, that's Little League Baseball.
That's rough. That is rough. Yeah, Buddy's going to be disappointed. I mean, I had no idea the Magic and T-Wolves came in together. But now we got to figure out where Miami came in.
Yeah, I want to know when all these teams. But you're right, a bunch of them came in during the 90s. They just added.
Yeah, they were adding a lot then.
Yeah, because Stern wanted to expand. And
Well, it was a good time. Basketball staying popular, and Michael was starting to take off.
Well, it went global in the 90s. That's what happened. The NBA.
The Dream Team happened.
Yeah. Michael happened. Bird and Magic.
The Heat and the Hornets came in together in 88.
So that's back-to-back
So I
years
think
they added
Ray,
2 teams.
Ray was right.
So you think...
So all these teams came into the NBA going into the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think the Heat and the Hornets got to keep all their players after their first year since the very next year? Or do you think people were able to... The Magic
Oh, the
and
expansion
were
draft?
they able to pick them off the
I
very
don't
next
know.
year? Could you
Yeah.
imagine you get picked by the expansion team and the very next year you get picked again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine if you've been in the league 1 year, they probably let you keep your players.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know.
All right. Well, I guess that will end our Milwaukee Bucks portion of this episode / Timberwolves. We talked about them quite a bit. And that will move us into just our basketball talk for this episode, which, to be 100% honest with you, I have no idea what we're going to talk about.
Sorry. We can start with the Indiana trade.
Yeah.
There was just a trade today for the draft.
Well, me and Alex was talking about that off air. It was a pick swap. They had pick swaps, so they just kind of flip-flopped the picks or whatever.
Yeah.
What I just saw go by was
Was there something different?
Indiana gets number 1 next year
Yeah.
that Denver got from Oklahoma City.
Yeah. They traded the 29 and 32 picks
Right.
for number 40 and next year's first rounder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So it makes Denver 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, that's what we got too.
Yeah. So
Well,
that'd be an exciting draft.
yeah.
Yeah.
Be nice to see what we can bolster up here and see what pans out.
Well, I read today, Ray, that you guys are going to go after either Harrison Barnes or Kyle Kuzma to fill your roles.
Oh Jesus,
Wings.
not Kuzma. God damn it.
You don't want him?
Why? What's wrong with Kuzma? It's,
He is not made for Indiana. Him and them god awful fucking outfits. He's not.
He
gonna
does
fit
wear
this-
some ridiculous outfits.
Like he wore a goddamn trash bag one time. I thought, look like a fucking trash
does.
dude. You don't need to be on our team.
he
Get
just
outta
averaged
here.
like 21 and 7 last year. I mean, he's,
Yeah, well, I mean, he was on Washington. Anybody could do that.
well, he
Oh,
can do it for
there
you
was
all.
a trade today, though. The one on the Bucks,
Porzingis,
the
yeah.
one that
Oh,
on the Bucks
yeah.
sent us in the group
That's
chat.
right. Yeah, the other one.
Porzingis went to the Celtics
Yeah,
for.
Right.
Porzingis went to the Celtics.
Is it official now, or are they just trying to figure
I
stuff
thought they
out?
said it went
I
through.
thought it went through.
Yeah, I
A
thought it
couple
went
hours
through
later,
later,
yeah,
yeah.
because they sent Brogdon to.
Brogdon went to the Clippers,
Right,
which I thought
yeah.
was a good pickup for the Clippers.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
did Morris go to the
And Morris and
Morris
a first round pick went to
Wizards?
the Wizards.
Yeah.
I kind of like that Brogdon
Yeah,
pickup for the
first,
Clippers. That'd
yeah.
be nice. Yeah.
First thing this morning, I saw a report that make sure I got this right. Boston, before they got their Porzingis stuff, started working on that. They were in trade talks with the Suns for Ayton, so they were trying to get a good big man somewhere.
Mm.
And then they said the Phoenix is still taking calls for Ayton, trying to figure out what they want to do with him.
It's gonna be Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, a bunch of guys off the streets. If they're going to play next year for the Suns.
Hey,
I mean,
we'll trade.
I don't
well,
think it
no,
was
I
a
won't
wise
say
move
it.
to get
No,
Beal.
I don't think I want Aiden either. I was gonna say we'll give him Turner.
I'm not
Aiden.
gonna lie to you. I would snap Aiton up in a heartbeat.
I doesn't think he likes it down in Phoenix.
I think in the right situation, he can be good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously talented. He's been a really productive player since he came into the league. There's just a lot of little stuff that I think people are kind of iffy on.
Well, I think he just kind of got a bad attitude when they went through the whole salary thing and
Oh yeah.
re-signing him, and he and the coach, and
Everyone's blaming him.
yeah,
He's the scapegoat for Phoenix's superstars right now.
Right.
Everything gets blamed on him right now.
Yeah.
Not everything that goes wrong out there is his fault.
right.
DeAndre Ayton's not trying. That's why we lost. No, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't think Kevin Durant or Devin Booker could guard Jokic either.
No, I mean
I mean,
they just didn't have a complete team. That's why they lost.
And they threw a bunch of stars together with 9 games together and running into the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why getting Bradley Beal, I think, was so foolish because you're going to be in a similar boat. I mean, you really, instead of just going for a home run, they needed to hit a couple singles and maybe a double. Like they needed to get good, solid role players around them, and then and have a team. You need depth. You need chemistry. Your role players need to specialize in certain roles, and they need to fit with your superstars. And you can't just collect talent. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't always work just because you have a lot of talent.
I can't remember who asked me. Somebody just asked me today or yesterday what I thought of the Bradley Beal trade, and I was like, I don't understand it.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so what was the biggest problem with Chris Paul? He kept getting injured. Bradley Beal's injury prone as crap.
yeah.
So you're not fixing that problem by trading for Bradley Beal. And the other part of it is now you have 3 stars, all on supermaxes, by the way. Now, he's more expensive than Chris Paul by a lot, and his contract goes longer. But they're all 3 guys that want the ball in their hands all the time. They're all scorers. They're not facilitators. They're not spot-up guys. They're not defenders. They're not rebounders. They're scorers. That's what all 3 of those guys do.
Well, by getting Bradley Beal, they're now making Kevin Durant the number 1 perimeter defender.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
People don't realize Kevin Durant is going to be in his 16th season next year, and he's had the major lower body injuries in the second half of his career.
He's never healthy anymore.
That's
ever.
really
And they're going to have
since
to
his
play.
Achilles, he's never.
Yeah.
Since his Achilles, he's missed time every year.
They're going to have to play 40+ minutes a night to win games. You can't do
Why
that.
would
You can't do that for 82 games.
Why would you want your aging superstar who's in his 16th year in the league being your best perimeter defender?
Right.
Why? That's so dumb. That's like the Lakers telling Braun that he has to guard that team's best player every game. I mean, it's pretty close to the same. Like that, it's just not smart.
Here's Durant's games played since he's come back from his Achilles. 35, 55, 47, 39.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a guy that stays on the court anymore. Bradley Beal hasn't stayed on the court very much anymore. And for 2 straight years, Booker has missed a decent amount of time. And like Drew just said, they have nobody. I mean, I'm not talking about like, well, they just have some role players now. They don't even have that.
Right.
They have like a couple G League guys and then nothing. Like their team is nobody.
Sean Marks said something. I might be off by 1 or 2, but it's close. I want to say he said they're going to have to sign like 8 veteran minimums to probably fill out their roster or something like that.
Yeah.
What they need is if they're going to trade Ayton, they need to trade Ayton for like 3 guys that are playable.
Right.
Yeah.
3 guys that are not really good, because obviously you're not going to get 3 really good guys for DeAndre Ayton. But because Ayton makes like 30-some million, you need to trade him for like 3 guys that make like $10 million a year,
Right.
and that are serviceable role players.
Yeah. Because you got to have them. Because now they got no depth.
Yeah, and if you trade Ayton, you still need a big guy.
You got to get a big guy back.
Do
Yeah.
they have Is Landale still there, or is he?
Landale's a free agent.
Is he?
So I mean, they could bring him back, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's he gonna get in the market?
Well, I mean, they can always call Shanghai and get a hold of Dwight Howard.
I mean, they may need to at this point.
might.
They might.
They might. Well, didn't Dwight say he'd be fine with coming back?
He could probably come in and still play defense and rebound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'll be fine taking the veteran minimum. He
Yeah.
ain't got no problem with
He just
that.
wants back in the NBA at this point.
Yeah.
But
Back
Yeah.
out of China, yeah.
getting Bradley Beal just wasn't a smart move.
And I don't dislike Bradley Beal.
No,
I'm not trying to badmouth
it just
him.
wasn't the right fit.
Yeah, I just
No,
I just don't understand the trade from the Suns' point of view.
I think they took some phone calls and they realized what they were going to have to get up to get a really good player like Bradley Beal. And I think they just got excited and jumped the gun instead of.
Well, I think this new owner's just throwing money.
Well,
Yeah,
that
that too.
that's
Yeah,
a whole
yeah.
other
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, he
He's
just
just
jumped
awesome,
in
man.
and he's just going crazy and
Well, with the new.
needs to listen to his basketball people a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, Chris Paul pretty much said it in his interview the other day after the trade that James Jones didn't want to do this, and the owner came in and told him to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And that's what the same thing that happened with the Durant trade. James Jones says, "I'm not giving up all these guys for one player," and the owner came in and said, "No, you will do it."
Yeah.
Chris-
I want KD.
Chris Paul said in his thing yesterday that it's Isaiah Thomas is doing a lot of this.
Yeah. Isaiah Thomas is good friends with that owner, and
Yeah.
I think he's
Oh,
advising.
really?
He's
him.
buddied himself up with Matt Ishbia, and he's pretty much the behind-the-scenes GM, or he's whispering into Matt Ishbia's ear and telling him what to do.
Yeah, he's an advisor.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we
He's
all know.
running
How,
the show.
we all know how this goes in movies, guys. The advisor.
Yeah.
Well, everywhere Isaiah's gone after his playing career has not really gone well.
No.
As a coach, GM, president,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember all the stops, but everyone that pops
Indiana?
in my head is bad.
Indiana, New York, Toronto.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. New
Hasn't
York
been
wasn't
good.
good at all.
No,
New
New
York
York
was a
not good.
disaster. They end up in litigation and everything.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Woo.
so-
Same
Alex's
team.
favorite time, litigation.
Yeah, there you go. What was
Alex's litigation corner.
Yeah, the
Yeah, his list
litigation.
of guys. All right, Wade.
Yeah, forgot about that.
It's been a while.
Yeah, yeah,
We've been doing this podcast a long time.
Yeah.
indeed.
Well, is there any more news, or is that pretty much it for right now?
Well, the day before the draft is
Yeah.
the draft is tomorrow, so we'll be seeing who ends up where. Obviously, Ray and I have some high picks in this draft, so see if we collect some talent and some talent I want.
We'll have plenty to talk about for the
And
next episode.
get back on the
Yeah.
winning train.
Let's hope. Let's hope. All right. Well, I think that'll wrap up us talking NBA tonight. We would appreciate some more emails.
Oh, hold up. I got one.
Oh, you got one.
Well, I got to talk about this trivia question real fast.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Because, let's see. Yeah. So, I can't remember what the question was, but the Clippers traded 7 first-round picks to OKC for Paul George one year. And I thought that was just an insane amount of fucking picks. 7 for one player. And I put Lene's name because she's the only one that gives me trivia answers. And I said, Lene, I said, you're going to be surprised by this answer. And it was 7 picks for Paul George.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember there was a huge package, right? I remember 7.
Maybe that's including pick swaps.
Probably.
That's probably what makes it up to 7. Probably.
Yeah. But I just want to talk about it. I thought that was just insane for Paul George.
I know nobody's been listening to us and when we say this, but we would like some emails,
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
some comments, some questions, some answers to our questions, some even some critiques. We'll take it. We'll handle it.
Sports the NEMO Way at gmail.com.
Thank you, Ray. Please rate and review, and we appreciate you tuning in for this Milwaukee Bucks episode, and we would appreciate you tuning in next week for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Woo.
And thanks for tuning in to Sports the NEMO Way.